it usually does this. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Sense, presented by By Impuls. I'm your boy Eddie, and today we have a special guest on the show, Caleb, the owner of By Impuls. So, yeah, before we get started, Caleb, introduce yourself. Let them know what you're all about.
Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Caleb. I am the owner and founder of Visuals by Impulse. We are a small graphics design community for gamers, streamers, content creators. So we basically make your channel look good. So we're excited to be on the show today and hopefully talk a little bit more about what we do.
Nice. You don't need to be too humble, Caleb. You're not a little. You're not a little. You're
They
not a
come
little
from
company.
humble beginnings.
Humble beginnings. True. I like that. I like that. So yeah, let's.
Absolutely.
So before we start, thank you for coming on. This is something we've been
Thanks
discussing.
for
We want to
having
get
me.
you. Yeah, we want to get you on the show. Kind of get to know you more. You being one of our partners. Very excited to kind of see where the origin of where this all began. But with that, let's kind of get started with the basics, right? What is Visuals by Impulse, and how did it get started?
Visuals by Impulse in a nutshell. So when we have streamers, we have YouTube content creators, they have overlays, they have panels, they have logos. We're essentially out to create a branding for gamers who are looking to go full-time streamers, whether they're partnered or they're just doing this after work and having fun with it. So our goal is to make you look as professional as possible. We work with a lot of really, really cool people, big gamers, all the way down to the first time streamers. So it definitely, no day is the same as the day before.
Right.
So how we got started, it was actually just me in the beginning. And my screen name was Impulse at the time. I've been doing graphic design for probably 12, 13 years,
Oh,
just as
nice.
a side hobby.
Mhm.
Um, but I started to see an opportunity in the market where there wasn't enough dedicated designers for streamers on Twitch or content creators on YouTube.
Right.
So we started, very, very small at first. It was just me making like $5 overlays or something. Um, and it was back when you could probably get a complete custom package for $10. So um, it was originally me in the beginning and just spun out of control in a good way,
Right. Yeah.
and had to bring on a lot more team members.
No, definitely, definitely. And this is what I tell people all the time. It's like sometimes the smallest thing turn into the biggest things, even if you don't want it to. It just kind of happens, and things kind of take their course. So when did you realize that VBI had became bigger than just you? Was there like a specific like time? Like, was there a specific incident where or moment where you were like, "Wow, this is not just me anymore," right?
Yeah, so like I said, or I had some really cheap designs available. I'm just trying to get some work done,
Right.
get a feel of how streamers are wanting their channels to look, the kind of things that they want incorporated on their channel. So when I knew that it was just getting huge, is I had probably 10, 15 different requests piled up. I'm just actively like, hey guys, like hold on, we have a ton of orders in front of you.
Right.
So those are good problems to have. But then again,
Mhm.
my whole philosophy is I want the service to be quick. I want it to be as
Right.
efficient as possible. We don't cut corners, but we want to make sure that we're in constant communication. So
Mhm.
that's when I started opening it up and like, hey, we need some really talented designers to come on the team who are very good at interfacing with their customers. So that was the point that this all just blew up. So it's been smooth sailing since then.
Nice, nice, nice. Kind of going off of that. Knowing how difficult, I've been in esports for some time when I was younger. And being a designer sometimes is very difficult, right? Sometimes the community, sometimes you're kind of used, sometimes you just get kind of beat up, right? Because you're kind of looked at as just some person that just kind of makes designs and Dunny does it for the money. So when knowing how difficult it could be being a designer in the esports community, were there any concerns when you like kind of brought on more people for when regards to VBI? Was there like any concerns? Maybe hopefully these guys don't mess this up or have like a bad reputation.
Yeah, absolutely. There's the hardest part is doing quality control.
Right.
You cannot clone yourself enough times to look at every single thing that's going in, what's going out. So that was a challenge at first.
Right.
Quickly overcome it. You bring in the right people. You implement a good vetting process. So that way the people that you are having interface with your clients are very responsible, they're mature, they can take on pretty much whatever design brief gets thrown at them. So that was a challenge at first, but
Right.
we definitely have all the right people in place now. As far as like, the fly by night people who are like, hey, I need quick design, give me this, then I'm out. You always have to remember at the end of the day, we all the analogy I like to use is people are like garbage trucks.
Yeah.
If they're having problems for the day, you have no idea what they just went through today, yesterday. And if you're the person that they dump it all on, so be it. You have to adapt, you have to move on, let it go one
Exactly.
ear out the other. Just realize that you are not the intended target of whatever they have and they're going through. So I think that after having that implemented with all of our designers and having them understand that, we all are able to kind of work smoothly as a team, and those kind of distractions don't get to us. So we're happy to work with the community.
Nice, nice. So in regards to the community, has there been anything, the esports community, has there been anything that has surprised you? You know, like anything you find kind of strange, or you were like, oh, this is very interesting, or anything like that you found kind of amusing from the community?
I would say so far the biggest surprise, and I think that this is just a trend that's coming up, is the amount of professional athletes who are extremely interested in esports and streaming and
Yeah,
gaming. So there will be times where we're working with a streamer or a team, and all of a sudden there's like, oh, by the way, like we work with so and so. You're like, wait a minute, you work with this like NBA athlete, or they might
yeah,
be D League or something. But it's really cool to see all the interested parties and how this is just catching so much attention across the world. So I think to me that's the most surprising part. And then there's just a lot of other elements of the world, whether it's in business or it's
hmm
in sports. So this is no different. So a streamer, a team, they need to have a branding, some sort of identity
right,
to make them stand out, because otherwise you're just one of the many, many fish in the sea. So I think that's the really, really cool part of our job and kind of
right.
what we see out there.
No, yeah, definitely. Kind of like a two-part question. What has been like the hardest part of being in the community, in the esports community? Like that with VVI or just with yourself that you've kind of seen now, this is kind of the difficult or one of the roadblocks that you have encountered.
I would say so. If you've been to our website and you've looked at what we do and kind of how we represent ourselves, we try to do so in a very professional manner. So the hardest thing is like being involved in those gaming conversations,
Right.
having those conversations with the streamers, being there for their streams and whatnot, um, but also trying to connect with them at that level. So there, as well as I know, there's a lot of toxicity out there, um, the
Yeah.
trolling and whatnot. So we deal with that a lot. So we're there. We do that. Um, we're gamers ourselves. We've been in the community. So the challenge is always staying professional with our clients. When they just turn around and do the same thing back to us. We hold ourselves at really high standards. So that's one thing I'm really, really proud of our team of.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree. Even before, like I even spoke to you, like when I first came across your Twitter and I saw that, I was like, wow, this is like I've never seen anything like that. There's other companies that try to do that, but it was
Mhm.
very kind of different. I was like, wow, these guys actually really pay attention to detail,
Yeah.
and I feel like especially in design, right? When it's like you provide something and it's there to be seen, sometimes people half-ass it, and I realized that even like I said, even prior to coming on board with you guys and talking to you guys, I saw the presentation was there, the whole quality control was there, and the whole customer satisfaction was there too, right? The whole idea that,
Mhm.
thankfully for Discord now, right? It's made it much more simple to be able to
Yeah.
communicate with clients and be able to kind of have that relationship moving forward.
Yeah, there's a lot of it on social media where you get these fly by night designers and they're like,
Yeah,
hey, DM me on here and we'll get you this cool design set up for you. And
yeah,
there is no doubt whatsoever that those people are very capable of some awesome designs, but they don't have the policies to back them up on whether it's refunds or if it's the client themselves isn't happy with the work. They might just take your money and that's it. They don't have any sort of protections. company formations or hierarchy of how their staff works.
Right.
But at the same time, we have to remember that's where we came from,
Mm-hmm.
and we're here to offer this as a service. Um, like I said, a little bit more different than some of the social media designers offering
Right.
graphics out of their mom's basement. So I would like to think that we hold ourselves to a higher standard, and that's what makes us a lot more different.
No, yeah, definitely. I would have to agree 100%. So when it regards to designers, right? Everybody can claim to be a designer, but how does VBI vet the designers when somebody applies or wants to send in their resume? How do you go about that? What do you look for when it comes to a designer?
I guess it's all around the need. So it depends on what we're currently looking for. Is it a logo designer? Is it a stream overlay designer? Are they a motion designer? Things like that. So we
Mhm.
want to take their portfolio. We do have a creative director in place who kind of filters everything. So that way,
Right.
um, a designer that doesn't quite fit our style would not make it past the process, or we encourage them or provide tips to get better or improve their portfolio, or just be honest with them, say, hey, you know what, you're a great logo designer. This is not something that we're looking to fill at this time. However, keep in touch with us and vice versa. Um, After they've made the initial screening process through the creative director and providing their portfolio and whatnot, we do send this amongst the team. So the
Okay.
team has to look over it. Everyone has to give kind of a thumbs up. This is great. This person has a lot of capabilities for the team. They're a good fit, personality wise, professional. Because you can be the greatest designer in the world, but if you can't talk to someone, you can't actively communicate clearly, it may not be a good fit. So those are all things that we're looking at.
Oh yeah, I mean, in the previous interview with Ed, when I had Jordan, we discussed how like sometimes people, since it's online, right? They kind of live in this bubble where
Mm-hmm.
they're not like they're just. I hate to use this term, but like socially awkward, right? Or
Yeah,
not even
yeah,
online socially awkward, if that makes sense. Um, and like, yeah, I feel like especially when you're a designer, when you're there to like, you almost have to be the pitch guy, right? The guy that's out there, that guy that's willing to
yeah.
go out and about and speak to the client. I feel like that's very very important.
Yeah, we never want the client to be out of the loop. So I rather over communicate with you, and then you tell me to shut up because I won't stop talking, versus you not hearing from me, for a day,
Right.
2 days. That's just not cool in my opinion. So that's kind of the standard that we set. Yeah, they're
No, yeah,
everyone is very good at communicating. If they're not, then we either coach them or they're just not a great fit for the team.
right, right. No, yeah, definitely. So, what advice would you give to new designers that are, coming up in the esports community? Maybe if they're trying to join VBI, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe they're just trying to be, the freelance designer, or join like an esports, organization. What advice would you give them?
My biggest advice is follow some trends. However, don't follow them as if it's the holy grail. You
Right.
have to be your own person. Copying off of X designer is only going to get you so far. The, the designers that really make it in the community, they're relentless with practice. They're relentless with tutorials, and they start to develop and mold their own style as they go. So we almost too often we see that there's someone that applies and they like, wow, this looks exactly like this person's work. Oh wait, you can go to their YouTube and you can
Right.
see the tutorial exactly what
Right.
they did. So while it's good to get the basics down and learn from those,
Hmm.
you just be your own person is my biggest thing, and relentlessly practice over and over and over again. I was doing this for, like I said, the past 12, 13 years, and it wasn't until you actually see an opportunity uh, to seize, if you're just designing to design, it's great. Build up your portfolio,
Right.
um, or even take some sort of design brief that you think would be cool, or what you picture in your head a client would ask for. Um, Take those concepts, apply them over and over again, and I think that's what makes a talented designer, because you just have to remember that hard work will always beat talent, and
Right.
especially within the design community.
Oh yeah, definitely. Random question: did you, prior to being a graphic designer, and whatnot, did you like draw,
I
before
did.
that?
No,
Did
I did not.
Right.
So Thankfully, we have some really, really talented logo designers on the
Yeah.
team. I cannot draw to save my life. So I did a lot of photo manipulations. So
Uh,
it's where you would take a normal picture, whether it's of a human or environment, whatever else, and just totally transform it into something that it wasn't to begin with. So that's how I got started many years ago. I thought that that was always really, really cool. But then to kind of switch to the functional design side of things
right.
now with streamers, it provides a whole new challenge. I think makes this really, really fun to do on a daily basis. So,
No, yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, no, sometimes people have that misconception where like you need to be an artist before, even beforehand, even before you try to become a graphic designer. And I feel like that's
mhm.
sometimes not true. And most of the times it really isn't.
No,
And I feel like some people might even get discouraged just because they don't draw or, they're like, it's difficult.
drawing is definitely not a prerequisite at all.
Right.
I
No,
would
yeah,
not be
definitely.
where I am. Absolutely, it's something though that with the rise and everyone has a tablet now. If you get the Wacom, the stylus and whatnot, you can start doing that digitally. You can transfer it to Photoshop, Illustrator, et cetera, et cetera. So
Right.
there's becoming even more avenues to learn how to draw. So I think that's been really cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree. Now, especially with like Adobe being so flexible with the way you can pay for it,
I was gonna say,
all
and
the
it's
services.
really, really cheap now.
Yeah, no, I remember back when I was still in high school. I mean, it was kind of still cheap, but at the same time, it wasn't as cheap as it is today. And
Yeah,
especially, no, yeah, it's
we're talking like $9, $10 a month when it used to be
right.
at least a few hundred, and I think it still is to buy it outright. But 5, 10 years ago, it was insane. It was almost unachievable unless you were a professional doing this for some large company. So it's really
Exactly.
cool moving to a monthly model.
No, yeah, I think Override just opens the gates, right? Anybody can do
Mhm.
it at this point. Anybody can really, if they really want to do this as like a profession, do that and kind of grab everything and run with it. And that's
Mhm.
something that I really like. I was like, back then it was only a limited amount of people, and because they could afford it, they can design. But now it's like really take what you have. If you're passionate and you're willing to do something for the community and build your portfolio and all that stuff, you can do it now. And it's very,
Yeah,
opening to see how that works and how it's been growing over and over. Um, what has if you can go to back to maybe like at the beginning of VBI or in the middle or any time in its lifespan, like would you change anything and why would you change something?
I would change one thing, um,
Okay,
and the only one thing. And I think this applies to anything that
right,
we do, period. When I first started, I was thinking very, very small. I was thinking right here, this is my bubble. This is how I'm going to operate. I deal with clients, I design, done.
right,
Um, the problem with that is, though, you're not thinking bigger. You need to think globally. You need to think large scale. So if you don't do that from the get go, you're really limiting yourself as far as what you can do, what you're capable of, and just taking on more clients. So the thing about bringing on more people, you're able to serve all those clients while setting a standard or
right.
quality of standard.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you're never sacrificing on, I need to take on more clients, but I can't do as high a quality work. That's something
Gotcha.
that has never happened. But like I said, I just wish that at first I would have thought bigger with this entire thing. So rather than it just being me doing the graphics, I
Mm-hmm.
never thought that I'd be sitting here talking with you about what VBI does, what we do for the
Yeah.
community, something I never even dreamed of. So it's been a really, really fun ride so far.
Yeah, kind of going off of that. What has been like a high point and a low point of like in VBI?
High points and low points. Hmm. I would say low points are anytime that a client just isn't a great fit for us and we're not a great fit for them. That's something that always weighs on me heavily. We
Mm-hmm.
don't have too many of those, but when we do, it's usually because they've looked at our portfolio and they've kind of assumed that we could do something that wasn't posted on there, and we misinterpret what their design brief is. So
Right.
um, I would say that that is always a low for us. As far as our day-to-day operations, our main thing amongst our team is transparency. So
Yeah.
If someone else is doing something that needs quick attention, I'm not going to wait until next week, 2 weeks from now, until we're all together and say, hey, please don't do that again. We're the type of team to call something out as we see it. So with that type of environment, we don't allow things to go on that need to be addressed. So that's something I really like. As far as the highs, I think the highs is just something, again, that just blew my mind as soon as I saw it, was becoming an actual company. And what I mean by that is becoming an LLC, limited liability company. That was insane to get all that paperwork, to see that I'm the chairman and founder of this thing that I've created. So once again, flashback 2 years ago, I would never believe I'm sitting here staring at my operating rules and having different people provide some services, legal services, and so on. So that's been a really, really cool adventure. I would say that's definitely a high point, as well as just like bringing on talented people.
Yeah.
The team that we have right now, I am so proud of everything that they're doing, from our designers, our community management staff, everything that they're doing, all of our partners. It just, every day I wake up and jump online and check social media and just look at some of the stuff that we're doing, our partners and our designers and our community management staff is doing. And it's just like, wow, how did I get so lucky with bringing some of these people on? So we're always blessed to see that on a daily basis.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I put myself in your shoes, and honestly, sometimes I feel like seeing all that, it's very humbling. It kind of, like, it's almost like, wow, this turned into something they never expected it to, and it's almost like so stunning, right? If you will. Yeah, no, I agree. It's insane,
it's all about the culture that you create, within your company, your group, or whatever. So these guys know that I am the first to admit I know what I don't know. So, and they're the same way. If I don't know something, it doesn't matter, what title I am or what I come off as to someone.
Right.
I'll be the first to admit that, hey, I don't know that, and I'm going to go seek out the knowledge to learn it or do better at it. So, promoting that kind of environment within our group has just really done wonders for us.
No, yeah, it's honestly, yeah, I agree 100%. It's insane. It really is. When it comes to customer satisfaction, this is something that I experienced even before, like I said, even before we became partners or anything like that. Why is that very, very important for you? And for VBI in general, like, why is customer satisfaction so important?
Why is it so important? Because I could dump my life savings into marketing. I could do some sort of affiliate program. I could dump crazy money into things like that. But I guarantee you that those methods are not going to be as successful as someone presenting to their friend or to other streamers the experience that they had with us. So I'd rather it come from word of mouth that we did a good job and we did well, versus dumping unnecessary money into crazy ads, because they're very expensive. So I think that being honest, being transparent, and delivering a great product is the easiest thing that we will ever be able to do. The rest of it is here nor there. As long as we can capitalize on that and just deliver the best experience possible, people are going to keep coming back. Because think about your favorite company. Think about whether your favorite company is Razer, and if you call them up and say, hey, my keyboard's broke, and they say, sucks to suck, don't break your keyboard next time, you're probably not going to be back. So we try to take that approach and just wow someone every time they work with us.
No, yeah. Also, something that I was really like, wow, this is going back to the customer satisfaction. When you buy pre-made designs, you even put underneath it, like, to make sure people can read it, where it states, if you don't have Photoshop, don't worry, we got you. That's what I was like, wow, like, these people actually care. That's not just, they're not here to just make a quick buck. These guys actually want to make sure that they're providing something more than just the brand. They want to be there and help you out if you need the help. And that's what I was like, wow, that's what I was like, customer satisfaction is very, very important for VBI. And I'm like, that's very rare when it comes to a lot of other design companies, where in their mind, it's like, our time is based on what you spend, And that's where I was like, where I kind of looked at other companies as like, and that's what kind of I gravitated towards you guys when it comes to my personal branding. And I mean, when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to like my overlays and all that stuff, that's why I was like, these are the guys that I want to go with.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
little, yeah, go
If you look at like other sites, you can just go on there and you can purchase a design file. You're
ahead.
like, okay, cool, I've got this great design file. You open it, I don't have Photoshop.
Exactly.
And before though, they're like, well, no refunds, sucks to suck. And that's not cool. Everyone does not have access to Photoshop, and even if
Exactly.
they did they know what they're doing?
Right. Yeah.
Photoshop can be a complicated program if you don't have exposure to it. So
Exactly.
we do have a person who's dedicated to doing those edits. As soon as they come in, we're shooting for about 24 to 48 hours at the absolute max of
Right.
getting those designs back over to them. So shout out to Creegan for doing our edits. We appreciate you, sir. And that really helps for our clients to get the designs they need as soon as possible, because no one wants to sit around and wait for designs to be edited when they're ready to stream
Exactly.
tonight. So
No, yeah, 100%, 100%. A little plug. I see you got some VBI Swagger on. Let us
oh
know.
yes, I do.
Yeah, let us know what is all the Swagger about. Let us know what's going on with the Swagger.
Yeah, we just got in touch with a local company. We're located over here in Portland, Oregon. So we had them, Trey from our team, one of the logo designers. He mocked up the logo, got our branding kit done. We took this over to them. We were able to get some new era snapbacks, and the shirts, and we're ready for hoodies. Coming up in the winter, so that'll be
Sweet.
really exciting. But yeah, these are all available on the website. We do only ship to the U.S. right now because shipping is insane, as we found out. The whole concept of
Jeez.
the whole concept of shipping physical goods was a little bit foreign to us since we're all
Right.
digital. So
Right.
we are accommodating right now for the U.S. We do have plans eventually to branch out, but like all good things, it'll take time.
No, yeah, definitely, definitely. No, yeah. I mean, I'm still waiting. I want to get my hands on it because I heard you guys tweeted out or you messaged me, I believe, or something like that, where you guys got some new some more merchandise now,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously the benefit of going locally, you get a quality control, and it goes back to
Yeah,
he really cares about the quality that is presented
yeah.
to the people.
Yeah, I was telling one of the guys, I went to the showroom of this place,
Yeah.
and the gentleman was like, I quoted you for this shirt online, and they're really cheap. I'm like, this is kind of odd. He's like, but this is why. And he holds it up to the light, and you can literally see directly through the shirt. I'm like, that's not cool. That's not happening. Whatever nice shirt that you have that just feels really soft, that's the one. So um, I'm really proud of the gear as well. So everything turned out nicely. We have a nice stock and supply of it ready to go. So yeah,
Yes, we
we've
definitely
been
we'll
excited.
put all those links down below, so anybody that wants to get some VBI swagger
Yeah,
can definitely
awesome.
just go down there and click the link and be able to look as nice as Caleb, guys. Jeez.
Yeah, check out those product photos. Me and my girlfriend went to the beach and we had
Yeah.
a mini little photo shoot there. So if you're looking on the site and you see the background in there, that was done definitely on purpose. We wanted to have some really cool visuals back there. And
Sick.
the Oregon coast is just beautiful.
Oh no, yeah, definitely. I was like, yo, this guy got models, and then when you told me, I was like, wait, that's him. Oh, nice.
No
I'm like,
face though, no face though. I'm like,
no face
that's
down.
kind of weird.
They're not ready. They're not ready
Yeah,
for the
they're not
face
ready
yet.
for
No, yeah, definitely. So moving on, right? When it comes to VBI, what are like, obviously you said, the issue or not issue, but something that you wish you wouldn't have done was think small in the beginning, right? Where are your thoughts now with VBI? Seeing it where it's grown from just you being the only person that designs to bringing on a team, bringing on people, staff, all that stuff. Where do you see VBI next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Or what are like the goals and plans?
goals and plans. So as we grow,
Yeah,
the workload of the pre-made design, editing and whatnot will continue to grow as well.
right.
We have two options. We could either bring on additional staff to help do those edits, or we could provide even a higher level of service. I think ultimately the goal is to have some sort of automated process to where, let's say Eddie goes on the site and he purchases something. Um, he's then redirected to some sort of editor within the web page that he can choose a font that looks best with the design he picks. And he can enter that in, click download, everything's ready to go. There is no turnaround time. I think that is definitely a long-term goal that we're shooting for. It sounds extremely easy. We've done all the research on it. We've gotten some codes from people. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes with that. So something that's still in the works. As far as everything else, we have Zach. Another shout out to Zach and his crew for the community management. They're doing an awesome job. So we want to do even more engagement within the community. So we have a sponsorship program. We want to make sure that all the sponsors are happy. They're getting what they need. And if they aren't, we want to hear about it and how we can do better. So I really am counting on those guys to bring in new business, interface with the sponsors, and potentially new partners as well. So that way we can be connecting with as many people as possible out there. Ideally, and I don't have a time frame on this, I've talked also with the team. We'd like to go to TwitchCon, some of the other cons that are in our area or across the country. So that way we can have a booth and we can talk with streamers, have a little iPad set up, for ordering your custom design. And that way, while we're at the con or whatever, we can have someone taking on the order, working it, and then just interfacing with the streamers more. It would be good to get out there and have a booth set up and just get people's thoughts and what gets them excited and what we can improve on or offer. So I think that is what's next for us. We do also have a new website that's about to be rolled out. We've been working with a design agency or a web agency overseas. We're really excited about that. I will have some previews this afternoon on the VBI Discord. So if you are there, stay tuned for that. We do have a sneak peek at that. We're estimating about a month-ish on the new site design. So I'm really hoping that takes all the feedback that we've heard from our clients, some of the sponsors, partners, and just some potential investors that want to look at this and go, hey, if you guys had this, this would make the user experience a lot better. So we're really excited to get that website rolling. Also excited to see what everyone thinks of it this afternoon. So we will see.
Sweet. No, definitely sweet, man. No, I'm excited for you. I'm honestly, that's lit, man.
It really is.
That's lit. That's
really
lit.
Is.
But when it comes to just any personal goals that you have, when it comes to VBI, do you want to do any some people might look at it where let's have different teams, like have a VBI company or group of people across the country, or anything like that you plan to do?
So right now we are geographically located. I think we're in a few different countries. We have the US, we have Canada, we're in Ireland. And I feel like that is it, I believe. As far as just our team members and where they're located.
Right.
Different, whether we're looking to move to physical space or anything like that. No, we don't want to do that. Like I said, we do want to get into some of the Twitch cons, in the PAX West, East, et cetera. That's the space that we want to be in as well. But we have some things we want to take care of first, such as the new website, potentially the overlay builder. The thing, I don't have a completion date on those, but we are looking to the future for those types of things.
No, yeah, definitely. I would say events, honestly, probably the best thing. One of our chief marketing officer, he goes to a lot of events, and it's just a networkability. The fact that you're able to put a face to the people behind the companies is very important, especially since you guys care very, very much about customer satisfaction and building those personal relationships with the customers. That would definitely be a big plus, for everybody to be able to know who Caleb is, the guy that behind the mask.
Absolutely. Yeah, and of course get some free swag while you're at it. So we'd like to do some t-shirts, and oh man, we even thought about doing VBI fidget spinners. How crazy would that be?
That would be pretty lit. I'm not gonna lie, that would be pretty awesome. Definitely. I mean, I'm not a big fan of them, but honestly, with the right branding, I think it might convince me.
Absolutely, man. They have taken over. It's I kind of joke about it because it's one of those trends where you're either on the verge of doing it, and by the time you get to it, it's too late. So I kind of joke, but having some sort of swag like that at the vendor booths and whatnot, we think would be really, really cool.
No, yeah, definitely. I see somebody in chat, Jeff, Creegan is getting a VBI tattoo. Speaking about tattoos,
it's happening.
Would you ever get a VBI tattoo? Because this is your brand, right? You can say this is, you're the founder, you're the one that started all this. Would you? There's many esports owners that have done this. Would you get one?
Here's the deal.
All right, guys. Yeah, you guys.
Here's the deal. I am terrified of needles. So I just had this talk actually last night with Zach. I'm like, I don't think I could get a tattoo because I'm terrified of needles. Just like seeing a picture of needles like going into the skin, just I can't do it. However, I know that the staff has been waiting for this forever. I will go out on the beach. I will get a custom VBI Speedo, and I'll do it for you guys. All right. I'm sure the demand is there. The demand is there. Listen, I give in. The Speedo is yours. Creegan, Jeff, there you go. VBI Speedos. Just wait for it.
Lols in chat. Confirm. Hashtag confirm. No, yeah, definitely. And Creegan's gonna get this tattoo. Like, what does that like? What does that like mean to you, right? Like, does that kind of hit you in like, oh wow, this is this real? Is this kind of this big already?
It is. I mean, it's so. It also kind of drives home my point and validates what we do.
Right.
You're able to connect with a brand. The fact that Creegan's willing to get something inked on his skin for life just shows that what we've done has been so impactful to his. And I know that we've created a lot of opportunities for him as well and building his future and whatnot. So it's kind of surreal. I just kind of look back and I pinch myself a few times a day. But you can't stop too long and smell the flowers, because if you do, everything else will pass you by. So we're always trying to keep it moving. There are many, many humbling moments throughout the day. But always got to keep it moving, man.
So a couple more questions that I'm just coming up right now with. When it comes to your family or, your loved ones, like what's their like take on this, right? Because obviously to them, sometimes explaining the esports industry or the community to a person that's not in it is kind of difficult. Like, what's their take on it when you try to explain to them what you're building with VBI?
At first, it was I don't think they really understood, and to some degree, they still may not. Another shout out to Mom. I know she's watching. Hello there. But they always refer to it, as the internet business. They've gotten a lot better as far as what it actually is, what it does, because they see it all the time. So anytime you watch a sports game, you're watching NFL, NBA, whatever it is, it's the exact same concept. Down there along the bottom, you have the scoreboard, what score it is, some of the advertisements off to the side. It's the exact same concept what we do, except with gaming, esports. And then a lot of them respect the fact that they're seeing, Shaquille O'Neal investing into esport teams. So that's something that they really resonate with. Like, you're doing the design portion of what he was doing professionally, NBA, whatever, but what he's getting interested in now. So I think that they see the need there, and how this is growing into an even bigger thing. As far as my girlfriend, she's been nothing but supportive of this. She tolerates many, many late nights of me at the desk and just hammering out some work and doing the best that we can to improve things. She's awesome. She helped me ship out a lot of the VBI apparel. So
sweet.
Really, really appreciative of her, my family, and how supportive they've all been of my goals.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree. It's especially when sometimes families, when I was younger, at least with esports, my parents didn't really understand it. And I'm not sure if you kind of experienced the same thing when you were younger, since gaming was a little bit earlier, you were earlier into the community. But yeah, I agree. Sometimes, when you have that support, it's almost like you feel like, you're on top of the world, right? Because it's like you feel very limitless and you're able to kind of go try something without having those people, kind of judge you or question you. And I would agree, family support and, the loved one support is something that really kind of energizes you and gives you that willpower to actually go out and execute and do all you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Last question before we go. do you have a favorite like artist? It can be a photographer, it can be a graffiti artist, it can be a oil painter. Do you have any like particular artists that you like? When it comes to like art and like visuals and all that stuff.
Favorite artist? There's a lot. The first one that comes to mind, just because of his style, and I don't think it's the case anymore, but he's attempted to be so underground, and it used to be Banksy. I think that some of the work that he did there is really, really cool. I would like to think that we take a lot of inspiration, ideas from some of the greats out there, and we apply some of the same concept into esports and stream design. But yeah, that's really who I would look to the most. As far as favorite photographers, I don't have a specific one in mind. We're always checking out Dribble or Behance. We're looking at portfolios and really who's just killing it in their craft, honing in and doing it every day to become a better designer. I think that's always respectable.
No, yeah, definitely agree. Banksy. I grew up in urban areas, so I'm really into graffiti. So that guy, pray to the Banksy God. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, with that said, I think this will be, we're at the end of the interview. Caleb, I appreciate you coming on, man. This is, we had some technical difficulties in the beginning, but we were able to get that figured out. And thank everybody in chat, all the VBI fam. What's up? Thank you guys for hanging out with us and enjoying this, beautiful interview that I did with Caleb. Hopefully my questions weren't boring. But if you guys want to find anything out about Caleb, VBI, what they all do, all the social media links will be down below. Same with the website. Make sure you guys get that swagger. Straight up. Their swagger is
beautiful.
Yeah. You trust me, you're gonna look sexy. Yeah. But with that said, I mean, if anything, if you want to ask anything, Caleb, to me or anything to chat, I would say so now.
No, I just appreciate the opportunity to be on. It's always cool to interface with the community, get the word out there, what we do, chat with Eddie. We're really excited about the things that Third Sense Gaming is doing right now. Big things are headed for you guys. So we're here for the ride, here to support however we can. So everybody just sit back, enjoy the show, watch what these guys are doing. So, but yeah, thank you again for having me on. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the heat. It's like 90 out here. I think we're gonna die. We're not used to this in Portland.
Global warming. Let's not get political, but global warming. Nah. But yeah, with that said, guys, we're gonna head off. Like I said, all the social media links are down below. Make sure to do all that. Make sure to drop a like and a sub, so like that when you guys want to see when we go live for the next week, you guys can just get a notification. But with that said, thank you guys for watching. See you guys in an episode of The Sense. Peace out. Oh, dude.